Elsa, and I'm here to teach you the lesson for monetary policy. And to start off, we're going to start with the main vocabulary words that are used in this lesson. The first one is contractionary policy. It is a type of policy that is used as a macroeconomic tool by the country's central bank or finance ministry to slow down an economy. For expansionary policy, it increases the total supply of money in the economy more rapidly than usual. For reserve requirement, it is the cash reserve ratio. You can name it like that as well. It is a central bank regulation employed by most but not all of the world's central banks that sets the minimum fraction of customer deposits and notes that each commercial bank must hold as reserves. For excess reserves, those are bank reserves in excess of reserve requirements set by a central bank. For checkable deposits, it consists of any demand deposit account against which checks or drafts of any kind may be written. Checkable deposits include checking, savings, and money market accounts. For money supply, it is the entire stock of currency and other liquid instruments in a country's economy as of a particular time. The money supply can include cash, coins, and balances held in checking and savings accounts. Now, for the difference between fiscal and monetary policy, fiscal involves the government charging tax rates and levels of government spending to influence aggregate demand in the economy. And monetary, it involves changing the interest rate and influencing the money supply. Now, those both can be used to pursue policies of the higher economic growth or controlling inflation. Now, for federal fund rate, it is the interest rate at which a depository institution lends funds maintained at the Federal Reserve to another depository institution overnight. The federal funds rate is generally only applicable to most creditworthy institutions when they borrow and lend overnight funds to each other. And now for our problem, which was number 3, we do problem number 3, which is in recent years the Federal Reserve has made targeting the federal funds rate a main focus of its monetary policy. For Part A, it tells us to define federal funds rate, which is the interest rate banks charge each other for overnight and short-term loans. For Part B, it tells us if the Federal Reserve wants to lower the federal funds rate, what open market operation will be appropriate. Basically, it will be to buy securities that helps, deposits credit into the bank's balance sheets, and it gives them more reserves than they need. Now, for Part C, we have to work a problem out. The problem is, assume that the open market operation that you indicated is in Part B is equal to 10 million. If the required reserve ratio is 0.5, calculate the maximum change in loans throughout the banking system. So they give us our ER, which is 10 million. So we write ER is equal to 10 million. For RR, we get 0.5. So we set that up as RR is equal to 0.5. Now for that, we have to find the maximum change in loans throughout the banking system. So we set up the problem by putting 10, and then we will multiply that by 1 over 0.5. So we first calculate 1 over 0.5 to get our number, which is 2. We then put 10 times 2, which will equal to 20. So our answer, basically, the maximum change will be 20 million. Now for part D, it tells us to indicate the effect of the open market operation that I indicated in Part B. On Part B, right? Okay, yes. So on the nominal interest rate, there's bugs on. Sorry. In part B, it says that the Federal Reserve wants to lower the federal funds rate, what open market will be appropriate? So the answer will be buying securities. It reduces the nominal interest rates. For part E, you assume that the Federal Reserve's actions result in some inflation. What will be the impact of the open market operation on the real rate of interest? Real rates fall under Fed, which by and reduces nominal interest rates, and inflation further reduces real rates. So it's basically reducing the real rates, which occur during inflation. And that's it for problem number 3. I hope you learned, and it was very thorough with every step along the way. Thank you.